This, as I hope you'll recognise, is a human skull. This one is a sheep skull. Look at those horns. And thirdly, I have this magnificent lion skull. Now, on first inspection, I think all of them look quite different from each other. But what I'd like to persuade you is that actually there are similarities that kind of outweigh those differences. If we look at the bones that make up each of these skulls, we can identify them and name them. The bone above the eye sockets here is called the frontal bone. The bone above the nose, the nasal bone, and here is the maxilla, which bears the upper teeth. Now, exactly the same bones are present in the human skull. Here's the frontal bone forming that steep forehead. We've got a massive brain inside our skulls, unlike the lion. There are nasal bones forming the bony bridge of our nose, and a maxilla which bears our upper teeth. So, okay, those bones are different shapes, but they're still the same. And here in the sheep, the same pattern appears. A frontal bone up here, nasal bones, and a maxilla bearing its upper teeth. And in fact, if you were to look at a whole range of different mammal skulls, you'd keep seeing this again and again. The same bones are there, just pulled in different directions, so the whole shape of the skull is different. Now, there are obviously things about these animals and the way they interact with their environment that are very different. The sheep has grinding teeth. It's eating a purely herby, grassy diet. There aren't very many teeth left on this skull, but my teeth are flat at the front for biting through things, and I have grinding teeth at the back, which are particularly good for nuts and seeds and fruit. The lion has teeth that are specifically designed for eating meat. So these enormous canines at the front and these slicing carnassial teeth for getting through meat and sinew at the back there. So although there are differences, I would still argue that the similarities show us something very important, that a long time ago these three now very different looking animals had a common ancestor. One final difference I'd like to show you is here on the front of the cheek. There is a little hole where a nerve comes through to supply the skin of your cheek. And that hole is called the infraorbital foramen. It is also there in the sheep. It is also there in the lion. But in the lion, it is absolutely massive. And this took me a while to figure out. Why should the lion have such a huge infraorbital foramen and infraorbital nerve? And then it struck me. Whiskers.